Alright, man, so we back with another video, man. Today we're gonna be doing the build systems. Now, at the time we're recording this, I have already done the 2K tier list. If you haven't already watched that, go watch that. I've done the ranking every single park in 2K history. If you haven't watched that, go watch that. Now, today we're gonna be doing the build systems. We're gonna be ranking every single build system. I could have did before 14, but I've been just doing from the park era. I didn't do that for the 2Ks because I just ranked every single 2K I've ever played. I probably should have did that from the park era too because I don't have as much memory for a game like the early 2Ks, but 11 and on, I know a lot. I remember a lot from those, so that's why I still rank those. From the build systems though, I don't remember a lot from 11 to 14 to be honest. I think it was pretty much all the same from those, but I could be wrong. I know they started implementing badges and stuff like that, but for the most part, I could be wrong. But today we're gonna be ranking the build systems. We're gonna be going over overalls. We're gonna be going over how gameplay impacted how the builds were, how versatile people was when it came to having builds, how good you could be with any build, what was meta. We're gonna go over a lot of different things on this. If y'all do want more videos like this, put in the comment down below what else you guys want me to rank according to 2K history. It can be dribbling, it can be shooting, it can be anything. Just go ahead, put in the comment down below what y'all want ranked next. But without further ado, man, that's what we're gonna do. No more talking, let's hop into it. Hopping into it. We got the build systems. We got the same tier as the park. If you haven't seen the park, I'm gonna just go over them again. Magic, pretty much same thing as magical. I just called it magic here. I don't remember why. But yeah, I know the reason why we call it magic or magical. I just don't remember why I called it magic instead of magical. But pretty much so good you can't believe it's real. Like magic. I mean, amazing, good, mid, trash. It could be understandable how the rest work. Let's get into it. First, build system 2K14. Now they had multiple different this had archetypes. If people don't remember, this had archetypes, but it really didn't restrict you at all. It restricted you in ways you could make the build. Like they had scoring, they had defensive, they had all different types of archetypes. But for the most part, like I said, there wasn't really ways you could be restricted in terms of how you made your builds. So I think 14 honestly had a really good build system, bro. I think it was fun. I think the gameplay fitted. I do think the community was small enough for this build system to work at a time. But would it work today with how big the community is? I think that's the bigger issue. I think the community is so much bigger and so much better at the game that I don't know if it will work. But with that gameplay, I think it would be fine, to be honest. I do. So I'm going to just say it was good. I'm going to say good. I'm going to just be calm and leave it at good. Then we have 2K15. Now 2K15's build system was pretty simple. It pretty much, you went on there, you made a build, and they had 6 different categories. You had, I believe, 20 for each category, and you started out with 80 and you could get up to 100. And at 100 you would be 99 overall. So you would have to make sure you fit those 100 within 60 categories. There was up to 120 though. So you would be left with 20 that you didn't use. So they had I could barely see it, but I believe it was shooting, finishing, athleticism, playmaking, rebound, defense. I could be wrong. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I do remember you had to split it up, and depending on if you had a big, if you had a guard, you made it differently. I do think the gameplay in this game suited the build system. I think it was fine. I do think that there is a lot of nostalgia that goes into this, so it could be a little bit worse depending on if it came out today and the gameplay was the exact same today with this community. But for the community it had at the time, I think it was pretty amazing. I think it was pretty amazing, to be honest. Then we have the inside, balance, outside. Now I remember this a lot more than the other two build systems, because the other two, for the most part, you just went on there and made builds. I don't remember even caring too much about the actual things that made builds difficult to make. I think inside, balance, outside, actually you thought about making when you made them. And you actually thought about what heights you were making them. I don't think you had to think of, if you wanted to make a height of any position, you just did it. Now there was restrictions on heights at positions at those other ones, but within the restrictions, it wasn't that crazy or hard to make really good builds at any position on those games. I think on here on 2K16, it was actually a little bit difficult in terms of thought process. There was times where 5-7 point guards was very good on this game. Then they started changing things. Then it was like 6-3s. Then they started changing things again. Then 6-7s was the meta. But I will say I remember it all. I do. I think there was times where insides had its point to be used. I think outside, for the most part, was the most popular throughout the year. At the end, balance was pretty good as well. So, I think it was a lot of versatility, but for the most part, a lot of people had the same builds, whether it be the 6-7 outsides, 6-3 outsides, and a lot of the bigs made their builds the same. And yeah, that's just what it was. I don't think there really was locks on this game, to be honest. I think everybody just pretty much made their builds how they wanted to make them. And everybody could pretty much be the guard and stick defense. So it really wasn't no guard lock big. It was really just guards and locks, or it was really guards, small forwards, and bigs. It wasn't really locks like there is today. So I do think this build system was pretty good, but I'm gonna just say it is amazing. I'm gonna say, honestly, for the gameplay that this game had, it worked pretty well. So I'm gonna say amazing. I'm gonna put it above 15. Honestly, is it better than 15? But also, it did still have that little 120, 100. You had start out with 80. You could get up to 100, and it may have been 75 or 80. I don't remember. I know you could get up to an 85 overall, but yeah. And it was a lot cheaper to make the builds back there too. So you could put that into it too if you want to. I'm not doing that, but you can put that into it, how cheap it was to make builds too. I may got a low-key lower. Nah, if we just ranking the build system, we're not ranking nothing else. I also could rank the my careers. Low-key, I could rank the my careers. That would be a very interesting video too. But 17. Now this is the first 2K that had a lot. Now I won't lie, in terms of parks, a lot of copy and paste. But in terms of the build system, this is when builds actually started to differ. This is when they started trying to try new things with the game in terms of the build systems. Archetypes was implemented for the first time this year, and for the first time ever, they introduced Hall of Fame badges. Now, if you played these games, you already knew that you had to grind your badges. Now, for the first months, now this is the weakest part about 2K back then. The first couple months of 15 and 16, you had no way of knowing how much you had to do to get a posterizer or this or that. And then you could be able to upgrade that badge to gold. I think you could just have to get it bronze and you could upgrade it to gold. On this game, I low-key don't remember if you had to... Did you have to grind your badge all the way to Hall of Fame? I don't remember. I really don't remember, honestly. But I will say, this was definitely the first game where they tried a lot of new stuff with the builds. They had sharpshooter, I believe. Either sharpshooter, shooter, slasher. You had like the locks. You had like the glass cleaners. You had the playmakers. Bro, 2K was going above and beyond with the build system this year in comparison to what we had. We had never had anything like this. Now, there was a lot of things that started to make builds kind of wild, like the animation glitches and stuff like that. But for the most part, this was the first 2K that they really tried new things. Honestly, bro, I'm bringing these down. Honestly, I'm gonna bring these down. I'm gonna bring this here. But yeah, I'm gonna put it like that for now. Because this is amazing. This is clearly the best build system we had, because up to this point, honestly, that's chat. That's chat. Those can all stay, because it really does. It does depend on, because there's a lot of people to this day that still say they like 2K15 build system the most. People still say they like 2K16 the most, and I don't know if I even like 17 that much more. But I do think this was when they first started actually doing build systems, if that makes sense. With the whole archetype system. So I think this was a very impactful game. Takeovers for the first time, or not takeovers. This was grand badge. It was called grand badges back then. So yeah, bro, they did a lot with this game. Yeah, 2K did a very good job. And yeah, the only thing I don't fully remember was the grinding or how you did a lot of stuff. But yeah, amazing. Then we have 18. Now, I won't lie, 18 had its issues. The only reason why I'm not going to have it in Magic is because bro. 2K on 17 had grand badges. They took out the grand badges and you just could be hot and cold like it was in 2K's prior. They took that out. That's the only reason why I'm not going to put this in Magic. But I will say it's still amazing and it's the best one. Dual Archetypes is the best build system we've ever had. This was a build system where you could be a pure archetype. You could still be a pure build and you could get more Hall of Fame badges. But you also could be dual archetypes. I think dual archetypes is genuinely the best build system we've ever had. It was the most balanced build system we've ever had. By far the most balanced. And I don't even think gameplay even had anything to do with it. I just think it was by far the most. Like, gameplay also does make build systems better. 100%. But I think dual archetypes is a build system that could fit on any gameplay, any park, any game. It could. And then 2K19 was the best build system we've ever had. In my opinion, it's by far the best. I do. I will say pie charts is pretty much more flexible dual archetypes and archetypes, but it's positives and negatives to that as well. But yeah, I do think they did a very good job with the dual archetypes personally. So yeah, I would say, yeah, 19 is magical. Then we have 2K20. You could argue 2K20 is magical as well, because you got to think about it, bro. I think for that game, the build system was perfect. I think dual archetypes would have worked really well on there too, but I think it was perfect. Honestly, I would probably say 2K20 build system is really, yeah, I'd probably have to say magical. Yeah, with all the different, this introduced like the build names, all the different build names. That was so impactful for its time. So yeah, and you had full freedom on how you wanted to make each pie chart. But the only restriction was the pie charts and the height, weight, wingspans. But within those height, weight, wingspan, and pie charts, you had full freedom to make however you want to make it, how bad you want to make it, how good you want to make it, within that restriction of those pie charts. So I will say magical, and I think the gameplay and that game fit that build system perfectly. And then a very direct example of how that exact build system can be bad and not fit the game is quite literally 2K21. 2K21 pretty much was the exact same build system, and they ruined a couple of the builds that was on 20, but they were still pretty good. They just weren't as good as they were on 2K20. But it wasn't as, the builds weren't as versatile because the gameplay didn't fit the build system as well. I still think that you could use a lot of the builds. It was still a lot of versatility within the builds, from the slashing playmakers to like the slasher. A lot of those builds were still very good on this game, but it was so hard for some people to shoot that they just couldn't get around playing on a play shot if you wanted to be able to shoot. Perimeter locks, and a lot of people had inside bigs, and a lot of people, the entire game, it was a competitive game. I think the wager stuff really did push this game to where it was. Zens did a lot to this game too, but for the most part, yeah, I do think the versatility of the builds kind of lets this down. For the popular point of it, I pretty much had a lot of different builds on it, but for the most people, they weren't able to use but those 3 builds. So yeah, I'm gonna just say trash. Then we have 2K21 next gen. This got ruined by 2K not really testing the builds out. But how would people be able to test this though? That's the only thing, because next gen, you got your next gen when you got it. Like, people didn't, I mean, I guess you go to 2K headquarters and test it on next gen and stuff like that. But yeah, people weren't really doing that. I'm gonna just say the 6-7 power force kind of did ruin the build system for what it was, and the gameplay, yeah, wasn't really that great. I'm gonna say trash as well. Then we have 2K22. 2K22 build system is very good. Very good. Honestly, I'm gonna lower this. I'm gonna lower these. I'm gonna say good for these, and I'm gonna keep that in amazing, Because I'm looking at it, I don't think I'm going to have anything in mid. I'm going to say 2K22, that's probably the best build system we had, especially in terms of versatility. I'm trying to think. Because you had the 6.9s on 23. You had the builds that was good on 24 with the 6.8s, 6.6s. And then I guess there's some pretty good versatility on 25. It's just, the game's just not fun. But the build system on 25 is actually, especially with the legend, the build system is actually pretty good on 25. Thinking about it. There's pretty good versatility on 25, thinking about it. So I'm gonna say 23. I'm gonna say that's amazing. I think there was some things on this game. Oh my goodness, I forgot about the demigod glitch. 15 might gotta go up to amazing because of the demigod glitch. I ain't even think about that. Is that even part? Does that count though? It kind of does mess up a lot of this tier list, but I'm gonna leave that alone because I think people only think of the demigod glitch as like a 7'3" with all the like tendos and all that, but you could make a good build at any height with the demigod glitch. But that's kind of broken. I forgot about that part though, but I'm gonna keep it in good for now. But yeah, 22, bro. Literally, you could make a guard build from 5'11" to 6'3", and you'll be crazy. You can make it in a lot of different ways, and you'll be very good. But you could really make a guard build in general. You can make big guards on there from up to 6'7", and you'll be very good. Locks, you could be very good. 6'7", 6'9", you could be very good. Only thing I don't really remember was bigs, but I do remember going against bigs, and it was very good rebound animations. The block animations were really, really good on that game. It was a lot of stuff good about that game for all the main builds of people played on there. So I do think 22 was very, very good and very versatile. And I do think glitch builds made that game what it was, and it did push it to a whole nother level in terms of the game. But even before glitch builds, I think the versatility may have even been even more, but the glitch builds made the best builds just the best builds. Like, it's just what it was. But yeah, but I do think you can make a guard build from 5'11" to 6'7", and you'll be very, very good. Like, they're all the builds from those different heights, like whether it be 5'11", 6'1", 6'3", 6'5". I don't really remember 6'5s though, but 6'7", they were all good for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? 6'7s was good because of the versatility. 6'3s was literally not they were just better defenders than 5'11s, but they probably weren't as good as shooters as 5'11s, but they could dunk. 5'11s were probably the best shooters in the game. 6'1s was like the in-between of a 5'11 and a 6'3. Though, like, I'm telling you, 22 was very, very good in terms of the builds. And then locks, yeah. I think 22 was amazing in terms of the build system. 23, this is when they brought the tier of the bad system where, yeah, it didn't really work out the way that they wanted it to because everybody just ended up making 6'9s. You could make other builds, but bro, if you wanted to be a big man, 6'9 was the best height. I don't even remember what the best height was for locks, but I do remember the best guard builds on that game were 6'9s. Like, it's just what it was. I don't remember what the best builds was for locks. Because I'm sure locks had super high, like, steal and block. But I don't remember, like, how high could you get your steal and block on a 6'9? I don't remember what was the best lock builds for that. Like, I didn't play a lot of big on 22, so I don't really remember how people made their bigs. But on 23, I didn't play a lot of locks because 6'9 you could play as a lock. You could literally guard every position on the game as a 6'9. Literally, you could. So yeah, 6'9s just really kind of messed up that part. So I would say it's good because there were some things about it that was good with the tiers and the badges and the making of the builds, but there were some issues as well. Honestly, man, this is kind of rough. Low-key, is there any trash? I don't know if there's actually a trash one, bro. I would say this is at the top of mid. I would say this is at the back of mid. And I would say this is here. I would say 23 is mid. I would lucky say 23 is mid, to be honest. Then we have 24. 24 build system. It is literally 23 but better. They took out the tier system. Okay, the way I think of 24, it is 23 but better, but worse than 25. I don't know if that's good though. I don't know if that's good. I'll probably say it's more versatile than 23, but it's not really a versatile build system. Like, you major locks the heights. There was set heights for locks. It was set heights for guards. It was set heights for bigs. I think, bro, this is mid. I'll put it at the top of mid, personally, bro. I don't think it was that good, bro. Personally, I don't think it was that good. Like, honestly, I think swings again dominated that game. And then 25, you actually have a reason to make guards. You actually have a reason to make swings. You actually have a reason to make bigs. They definitely nerfed swings heavily on this game, but it was for the betterment of the entire build system in general. I would say this is good. I would say this is good, personally. And that would be my build system tier list according to the 2Ks. I think the best build system we've ever had was 19. I think 20 was the next best one. You could argue either one. And then right after that, 18, because dual archetypes is just the best build system. You could play with that on any build, on any game, it will work. You could have threw that on. I think if you threw dual archetypes on 21, that game would be looked at a whole lot differently. Because I think the game was really good. It's just everybody had the same 3 builds. But literally, if you had dual archetypes, it would be a lot different, bro, in my opinion. I'm thinking about what game would the dual archetype system not work. Genuinely, I don't know. I think archetype system from 2K17 low-key works on every single game too. Low-key. I'm trying to think, does this work on every game? It does. It probably does. I'm not gonna lie, for the most part, this probably does. That may be the thing that holds back 2K20, bro, because it doesn't really work on every game, but it's perfect for its game. So that is a little tough. That is a little tough. Bro, the more I think about it, 22 was literally by far the best next-gen game. Like, it had the best parks. No. It didn't have a rep system. That's the issue. It didn't have a rep system, and it's probably the second worst city. But outside of those two things, it probably is the best at everything. Gameplay, build system. It's probably some other things too, but I'm just forgetting it. But yeah, for the most part, that's the tier list. There's nothing that goes in trash. Maybe you could put this in trash. You could probably put this in trash. But for the most part, bro, I don't think those are trash. Think about it. I really don't think those were trash. So I don't think there is going to be a trash tier. I think that's literally, I think they've done a pretty solid job with the build system. I think the issues with the build system more so rely on the gameplay. The only one that really didn't 21, I'm not lying, 21 current gen and next gen, you could really argue both of those build systems got trolled by the gameplay. Because 21 next gen build system is not horrible, honestly. Thinking about it, honestly, I'm raising this. 21 next gen game build system is not bad. It's just, bro, if they just, bro, that one thing, the 6-7 power forwards, if they just, bro, 6-7 power forwards, I keep forgetting that part. I'm gonna put it here though. I'm gonna put it here. I'm low-key sleeping on the build system of that game. I'm sleeping on that. And then yeah, 21, yeah, current gen is kind of, yeah. But yeah, that's the tier list. That is the tier list for the video. Y'all do want more? I'm not gonna lie, 23 being the worst, I'm gonna have to do that. 14, you got to be the worst. It's just what it is. Low key, I'm putting 14 up here. It don't fit right for me to have it in this. Nah, that's what we doing. That's what we locking it at. We're not changing nothing else. That's what we gonna keep it at. If y'all do want more of these videos, this was the build system. There's some more stuff I can rank. Put in the comment down below what else y'all want me to rank according to all the 2Ks. Like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff out the way. Without further ado, man, it's your boy Fitz. I'm out the bed, man. Now, I've been letting y'all off for a little while. 90%. Let me say it again. 90% of y'all aren't even subscribed. Now, I've been doing this for a little while now. Y'all, I know y'all mess with the content at this point. So subscribe. Subscribe. It's that simple. If you buying anything on Fortnite, Epic Games Store, use code YaboiFitz. I don't know why I ain't been had this, but yeah.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah!